All right, Team Radiating Hope, here we are. Day one, headed to Phakting. Should be about 2-3 hours. Who's ready? Woo! Let's do this. So we're here en route to the base camp of Mt Everest. Nearly 100 trekkers are joining us. They have collectively fundraised over $100,000, which will be donated to a cancer center in Kathmandu, specifically to bring brachytherapy, which is a form of radiation treatment, to that center. And that's truly a life-saving improvement for that center. It's very important for the treatment of cervical cancer. That clinic, half of the patients that they see are patients with cervical cancer. And without this treatment that they currently lack, they cannot cure a single case of cervical cancer. So it's really amazing that these 100 people and the fundraising that has occurred can bring that treatment here. The Prayer Flag Project, it wasn't intended to be a project initially. It was really just intended to be a simple gesture to Brandon and I's patients. We liked the symbolism of the prayer flags. As they flap in the wind, there are threads of the flags that break off, and they're symbolic of prayers and good thoughts, good wishes on behalf of the person that they're dedicated to. And it really did kind of evolve unintentionally. We had people who were approaching us wanting to have a prayer flag dedicated on behalf of someone they knew. And so it really just started to grow from there. So each mountain that we would climb, and we started to climb a lot of them, we would dedicate more and more prayer flags. And then it became a question of, what more can we do with this idea? And that's how Radiating Hope was started.
Well, this fall I happened to meet Larry at an event, and we got to talking about climbing a little bit. And I had done some, 30 years ago a little bit, and he was telling me some of the trips he had done, mentioned he was going to be doing a trip to Everest, and it caught my attention because I had recently been injured and I was kind of rehabbing myself, thinking that I wanted to get back into some climbing because it was something that I enjoyed doing. And he extended the offer to me to go with him on this trek. From a very selfish perspective, I kind of wanted to do it because it was something I wanted to do, but as I learned more about the cause and I went and researched him a little bit and the Prayer Flag Project, it just became more and more meaningful to me because I've had a number of friends and family affected by cancer in the past few years. Most recently, my wife has gone through a bout of breast cancer. What I learned as my wife was going through cancer, that a big part of the treatment isn't just the medical side, but it's also the mental health, the hope, the care that's around you, the support. And I believe that this project really offers that to a lot of the patients. And it was very personal to me at that point, and I wanted to be a part of something bigger than me. The more we go through life and the more we experience hardship, I think we learn lessons later in life sometimes that we wish we would have learned earlier. But I think one of the lessons that we've learned is just to live in the present and live life to its fullest every moment you can. She's always wanted to travel, and how a lot of us always say we're going to wait, and we're going to wait until the time's right. And when she was diagnosed with cancer, it came with a simultaneous diagnosis of MS. And as she came through the cancer treatment, the MS was affected by the cancer treatment, and it's impacted her quality of life and her mobility. And I think she sees some of those hopes slipping away. She has the benefit of being happy for me as I do this. You know, one of the conditions of being here was that I sent pictures home on a regular basis. So we've been able to connect, you know, through text or Facebook, and been able to send pictures her way. And this is something she would have loved to have done, but she's getting to experience it through my ability to be here.
Last year I climbed Kilimanjaro with Radiating Hope, and I've decided to come back and climb to Everest Base Camp this year. Not necessarily because I love hiking, but because I wholeheartedly believe in what Radiating Hope is doing. Up until recently, I hadn't had anyone close to me touched by cancer. But the week of Thanksgiving, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And what was eye-opening to me about that experience was that she got to choose her doctor. And in places like Nepal, they don't have a choice. So that was kind of why I really wanted to be a part of this year. So since last year, I've been collecting prayer flags, and I was able to bring some of them to the top of Kilimanjaro. And I'm so excited to now be able to bring them all up to the top of the world.
When I think about what cancer patients go through, it is similar to kind of our mountaineering experience. You know, it is challenging. We often, when we are acclimating or getting used to high altitudes, we're nauseous, you know, we have headaches, you know, we're not feeling so well. Sometimes there's some GI sicknesses. And often when our patients go through cancer therapy, they are faced with that, and it's a struggle. I think the other thing that I think about is, you know, it is very difficult to trek and mountaineer by yourself. You really need the support. In our case, often there are people that are helping carry our luggage, and there's people that are helping prepare food for us, and there's sometimes people kind of helping guide us along the route. And I think the same thing goes with the patients that I treat. You know, it really does take a village. I strongly believe that. You know, it takes a team of physicians and nurses and healthcare providers, social workers, nutritionists, and then support from their own family. And so there's a lot of similarities between the two. In fact, that, you know, nobody can walk that route for you, and nobody can take the therapy for you as a cancer patient. But, you know, it really does take a village for us to climb up a mountain, and it takes a village, I feel like, for patients to get through therapy.
The group is getting ready for our final push to Everest Base Camp after 10 days of trekking. Today we will have our puja ceremony for the prayer flags. There's a lot of excitement around that. So next stop, base camp.
As we were approaching base camp this afternoon, I really began to reflect on the overall purpose of the trip, and being able to be a part of the project is very emotional to me. I hope that it brings families hope and something to hang on to. We're very fortunate where we live that many of us have good insurance and access to good doctors. Not every country, not every city is as fortunate, and being a part of this process and seeing the need in this country, Nepal in particular, I'm just happy that I can be a part of a project that's going to put good medical care in the hands of some that just don't have good access to it.
The most important next step for the Prayer Flag Project is what we call the Radiating Hope Centers of Excellence, where centers in the United States or across the globe would partner with centers such as the one in Kathmandu, Nepal, with the idea that 4 or 5 centers could partner with a center that needs help in a developing nation and provide services such as remote dosimetry, physics support, and an annual donation which will help to do things like change out the brachytherapy source on a quarterly basis. So these centers of excellence are the most important next step. Every center of excellence would have the opportunity to participate in the Prayer Flag Project by providing a prayer flag to each one of their patients. And these prayer flags, their destination is not completed. These prayer flags will continue to travel to mountaintops across the globe